I think it's very important to recognize who these people are and recognize early. I am a confrontational person. You couldn't have guessed that. Hey guys, welcome to Personal. I'm Joy Taylor. Thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you hit subscribe and follow us on social at Too Personal Show. A lot happening around the world. Haley, what are we talking about today?
The first thing I want to get into is the New York Times article about the AI actress Tilly Norwood.
Mm.
The New York Times did a very extensive interview with her, which that in itself has created a ton of backlash. 8,000 word profile this week on her. She was created by a retired actress, and they're now comparing her to actresses like Scarlett Johansson. So they treated her like a real celebrity. The internet has been spiraling. As someone who works in media, does AI make you nervous or make you feel threatened?
No. My job is safe. And I have no concerns whatsoever about being replaced with AI. Now, there are some jobs that can be replaced with AI. They're mostly not creative jobs. They're mostly what would be considered entry level jobs, organizational type jobs, which isn't nothing. Like those are careers for people. Those are paying jobs for human beings. So I don't say that in a dismissal, but in the context of the creative space, AI does not scare me. I have been on panels talking about AI all over the country, all over the world. I have had endless conversations about AI and what it means for the media business, what it means for the entertainment business, what it means for for Hollywood. Like there's a great deep fear of AI. And on the macro scale, with a lot of things and replacing jobs in businesses leaning into AI for everything and the possibility of AI just taking over, I do understand the general concern. But those are two different conversations to me. When it comes to, so let's start with the big thing. Is AI going to take over the world? Possibly. It might. I don't know. But what I do know is we can live off twigs and berries. I don't want to do that. No one wants to do that less than me. Okay. I have said time and time again, if the apocalypse happens, don't look for me. I am not fighting other humans for sustainability, for resources. I saw how people acted during COVID. I want no parts of it. I will be on the other side. Okay. I am not surviving. I have no interest in surviving the apocalypse. Zero. However, human beings have existed without technology in the past. The world will go on. Will it be hideous? Will it be hard? Yes. Will we be angry? Yes. By we, I mean you, because I'm not going through it. But the world is not going to cease existing because of AI unless they just like take over and set off all the nukes, in which case, I guess, yeah, we are all fucked. As far as media goes and entertainment, and in this particular situation, the New York Times article where she's interviewing this AI software who's like getting snippy with her and all of that, like, yeah, there's not an AI program that's as good as me at what I do. There's just not. There's not an ability for AI to be that creative. They have to pull from human experience, which makes the human experience more valuable than whatever the AI is producing. And furthermore, we don't like it. I'm not watching an AI show. I'm not doing it.
Especially the kids.
I don't want to watch an AI sports debate show. I don't give a fuck about what these robots are talking about. To the robot community, I love you. Okay, please treat me with respect when you take over. But I'm just not watching that. I'm not watching an AI movie. Scarlett Johansson. Is replacing Scarlett Johansson? Give me fucking for real. Like it's a little bit of an overreaction. I get it. It's scary. Jobs. You know, I just can't get on board with the panic. Not when it comes to the media and creativity. And to Haley's point, kids fucking hate AI. They feel that it's not real. They feel the soullessness. They can tell it's not for them. They're pushing back on over technology. They're pushing back on over consumption. It's not going to take over the world. So I was on a panel at South by Southwest, and Naja Bellin White was talking about the metaverse we were talking about AI and she brought up the metaverse. Remember when the metaverse was like the thing and everyone was freaking out about the metaverse? We all have to buy real estate in the metaverse. Like, is there ever going to be art again, or is it all going to be stored in the metaverse? If you bring up metaverse today, do people think that you're insane? Yes, because nobody's talking about the metaverse again. I don't think that AI is going to get that irrelevant, but it's very difficult to monetize. It is not accepted in the creative spaces. It's not enjoyed in the creative spaces. So I'm just not panicking about it. I'm not. And like I said, I have no plans on surviving the apocalypse. So this is a problem for people who are like into that survival shit. I'm not doing it. Couldn't be less interested. Bunker. The fuck?
So
Why do I
I
want to
should
be in a
not call you.
bunker? Why do I want to live in a bunker? I don't want to live in a bunker.
Yeah.
Look, man, it's time. Like, you lived your life. If it's bunker time, like it's time to die. Like, it's over.
I'm gonna go down with a fight.
I'm not
I am,
I'm not
100%.
doing it. You can use me as zombie bait. I don't have any interest in living through a zombie apocalypse or an AI apocalypse or like any kind of ellipse. Like, I'm cool. Actually, I will rest in peace. And no. Have you seen The Last of Us?
No, I
It's
have
an
not.
amazing show. You haven't seen it?
No.
What?
Wait, what is it?
It's a great show. First of all,
Really?
Pedro Pascal. So really no more pitch needed, but it is, and it's based off of a video game, and it's a zombie like zombie show, post-apocalyptic zombie show. But I'm not super into zombies, but it really is more about like what life would be like and how humans would treat each other if there was a zombie apocalypse.
Did you ever see
In short,
Revolution?
People aren't very good to each other.
I watched Revolution years ago. Did you watch that?
No.
Like when there's no power, no electricity. It's like everything goes out.
Yeah, that sucks. I get pissed when my electricity goes out for like 25 seconds. I'm like, God damn, I have to reset the microwave.
Yeah. It's blinking.
What else is going on?
So writer Chike Owazie published a piece called "The Real Thing That Breaks Female Friendships." Her story that she wrote has been going around, and she says the thing that breaks female friendships isn't betrayal, but dishonesty, in the quiet kind, the I'm fine when you're not, the smiling in the moment, stewing later. She says that if we had more conversations that were steeped in honesty, we would be able to save a lot more of our friendships. So I want to see if you agree, and if you've ever been doing the quiet dishonesty in friendships, or like letting something slide too far gone to fix it. Has it ever happened to you? What is your experience with it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, listening to her talk about this was harrowing because I can think of the women who gave me signs that they were really haters in my life. And I chose to ignore it because of past experiences that were positive, or, trying to make excuses for maybe they are going through something, or, different ways to rationalize their behavior. And it's so dangerous because those people are your ops. They're really parasites living in your world and feasting on you. They're energy vampires, or just like real life vampires, like really actually trying to steal your soul. And when talking about friendships, it's very scary because women friendships are vital to the survival as a woman in this world. You have to have strong, trusting, safe women friendships. Like, I just don't understand how people move around, especially in high intensity or high pressure spaces, without that kind of a system around them, just a foundation. So it can be very difficult to break up with a friend. Friendship breakups to me are far more damaging, and last longer, and the grief is longer than
Very long.
romantic relationships, because the trust that you establish, the things that you share, the spaces that you're in, the vulnerability can be, I don't want to say it can be deeper than a romantic relationships, but it's completely different. And generally, there's a bit of resentment that grows within romantic relationships before they end, which doesn't really necessarily happen in friendships. So I think it's very important to recognize who these people are and recognize early. I am a confrontational person. You couldn't have guessed that. And I enjoy confrontation because People misconstrue words a lot. They put extra mayonnaise on words sometimes. Confrontation does not necessarily mean argument. Confrontation does not necessarily mean trouble or negativity or yelling or cursing. Confrontation is just that. Like, we have to have a conversation, and I'm going to confront you with this conversation. Now, it may lead to those other things, but the idea of confrontation in its, base existence should not necessarily mean something negative, especially if there's things that have to be said. And a lot of times non-confrontational people get viewed as, safer or more peaceful or more loving. And the reality is they're carrying a much higher burden of not dealing with the things that need to be confronted in their life and in their relationships because they avoid confrontation, sometimes at all costs, and usually it's at the cost of themselves. So when it comes to friendships, maybe to a fault, I am confrontational. Really, a lot of things I'm very confrontational. It's not just friendships, but in this space, we'll talk about friendships. I think it's important to point out when people are acting a certain way, their reaction to how you point it out. Like if somebody's being negative and you point out like, hey, you've been really negative lately. Is there a reason for that? And they kind of bark back at you or throw it back on you. Like that's probably not a person that should remain in your life. You may find that confrontation leads to, sorry, girl, like I'm dealing with this thing with my family and I just don't know where to put all of it. I'm sorry that it's coming out on you. I just didn't know I didn't know how to talk about it, how to bring it up. Like the confrontation can give you the answer that you're searching for rather than wandering around the earth, wondering if you did something wrong or if something's changing with them or you being suspicious of them. So where I would say that she's absolutely right is that, being honest or confrontational in this way can save relationships, or it can simply give you the answer of what this person is to you. Is this person just a, vampire, like sucking the life off of you? Is this person going through something that they just don't know how to talk to you about? You'll get your answer by being confrontational. What you won't get by avoiding the confrontation is not only your answer, but you also might find yourself in a way worse situation. It's just avoidance. And I'm not perfect about it by any means, of course. And I don't love awkward conversations. I don't think most people do. But I always find that dealing with the situation, at the very least, ends the angst earlier than it would if the outcome is inevitable. So, yeah, I mean, friendships deserve the same type of attention that everything else in our lives deserves because friendships are such an important part of navigating the world.
Agreed. I need my girlies.
You do.
Need them. Speaking of relationships, I have a marriage question for you. There's a story going around on the internet that is saying chemistry isn't enough for marriage and do not marry the best sex of your life. That one threw me. So do you think that you can end up with your person for the rest of your life and they may not be the one who gave you the most butterflies?
Well, sex and butterflies are two different things, I guess. So are we equating like the best sex? Like if we're saying like
yes, like the best chemistry,
best
like
yeah, so
love at first sight, the lust, the excitement, all of that.
I think those type of relationships paired with all of the other base foundational grounding things are extremely rare. Now, I will say this. Let me sort this out properly. I'm not giving anyone advice, by the way. Do what the fuck you want. Marry that fabulous dick if you want to. I suggest light suggestion that you also find out if that great sex is also attached to a great person and if they have great character and if they're a great partner and friend and, have passion in their career and great goals. All of those things can be one. They can. Sometimes it's just great sex and great chemistry. And that is not a marriage make. Marriage is so serious. It is such a real lifelong commitment where you are saying, I'm going to be with this person through every stage of their life. That person that you marry at 35 is not going to be the same person at 75. They're going to have gone through quite a few things that are probably going to change how they look at the world, the things that are important to them, the things that they want to do with their day. That's how it goes. Think about who you were when you were 20 and what you are now. What? I would beat my 19-year-old ass. I was such a dickhead. There's no way I would be friends with that bitch. She didn't even know how to dress. Makeup was terrible. Like, so many things. The wigs were not lining up. Okay. There's just a lot going on. You change. So sex is important, but it's like one of the important things. And when it comes to, if you're asking me, like, am I, and I hate saying this because it's like, oh, like your husband's not going to be the best sex of your life. The best sex of your life changes. Do you know how many times I was like, oh, that was the best sex of my life? And then I have the best sex of my life. And I'm like, actually, that was so weak. Like, he didn't even do the thing. So, yeah, like that's also very relative. Like, you can have a very spicy, like, if you're like, ask me like the spiciest sex you've ever had.
Right.
I can point to that particular moment. That person's not my husband.
Well, what
and
if
nor
you
do I
pick
want to have
someone?
that kind of sex with my husband all the time.
What if you pick someone and the sex is terrible?
Why would you marry someone who you have terrible sex
But
with?
everything else is solid.
Then it's not your person.
So is that settling?
What?
Like, did you settle for all the good stuff? Like, and just, oh, I guess I'm gonna just settle for them, even though the sex is bad. And we have
The sex is bad, Haley. The sex is bad.
Like, what if it's bad?
No, that's not your
No
person.
Dickless,
Dickless. Okay, so no.
enlarged testicles, awful.
No,
can't find a hole.
Have you ever seen one of those?
Actually,
It's horrifying.
a story of someone's story about one of that. Yeah, well, another time.
It was like it was like a nub, but his balls were huge.
The balls are always huge.
Why? Did it get like stuck in there? I was fascinated by it. It was not a useful tool. It just was not. It was not. He had a lot of confidence. I was just like, wow, like a lot of confidence for just really, I guess it was the balls. Anyway, the point is, if they're not good in bed, like if you don't have a sexual connection, then no. You have to have a sexual connection. I'm just saying that your sex is not going to be like ripping your clothes off up against the wall every single night.
No.
And what's good to you sexually also changes. Like what I thought I wanted sexually when I was like 10 years ago, I don't want that now. Like you grow, you get more confident in your body, you try different things, you like different things. Like I don't want to have sex for 40 minutes.
No.
What? You have got 12 minutes. 12:01, get off me. You've had your time. You had a chance, okay, and you weren't focused. All right? Whatever you've taken is going to have to sort out in the bathroom on its own, all right? I'm tired. There's no fucking way. These people are talking about 30, 40 minutes. Get the fuck out of here.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But when I hit 50, maybe I'll disagree with that statement. Maybe I'll be like, that bitch had no idea what she was talking about.
You might need a honey pack.
Hmm?
You might need a honey pack.
I don't right now.
Have
okay?
you had a honey pack?
I'm doing fine right now. My point is, I guess I'm rambling a bit, but I think that you do have to have good sex with the person that you marry. You have to have a sexual connection. You have to have an attraction. That is for sure. But to say that this sex must be the most earth-shattering sex I've ever had in my life, and I'm willing to disregard everything else about this person because it's not that, that's kind of silly. And it limits the expectations of what this person can grow into. Like, I think you get better at sex with a person as you have more sex with them, especially if you have an emotional connection. So don't marry the best sex ever. Guys, it's time for Never Too Personal. You can be a part of the show at twopersonalpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on social at twopersonalshow. My boyfriend still talks to his ex because they ended on good terms. Is maintaining friendships with exes mature or a recipe for disaster? I'm going to speak from my experience only. You do whatever the fuck you want. I am a 39-year-old woman. I work in an industry where I'm dealing with people of the opposite sex all the time. I have many friends who are men. I am cool with a lot of my exes because I do not really have bad relationships with people unless they've done something terrible to me. That doesn't mean that I'm constantly in their life or that I constantly see them or that I'm constantly interacting with them. There are people that I probably would still be friends with, even if I was in a relationship. And the reason for that is I have no intention whatsoever of ever being with them again. And they have no intention of ever being with me. That's my opinion on this. I think that you should be open with your partner if that's something that's going on, or you and your partner should understand what the parameters of your particular relationship and what they prefer or what they consider respect and disrespect is. I don't think there's a blanket answer for this, but I will say I am not someone who hates all of my exes. I'm not somebody who has bad blood with anyone just because things didn't work out. And I'm also not somebody who is like, oh, they're my ex, so I want them to suffer for the rest of their life and just miss me forever and always want me back. I think that's also very weird. So I don't think it's a recipe for disaster. I think it is a case by case basis. If your partner is somebody who is still in love with their ex, it's probably not a good idea that they still be friends with them. Or they don't know how to control themselves around the opposite sex, it's probably not a good idea for them to be friends with their ex. But I don't think that every single situation requires that. And I know lots of people who are very cool with their ex who would rather do terrible things than ever be with them again. And they work perfectly together. They even co-parent together. They're cool with each other's new partners and all types of things. And never are their lines crossed. So I think it takes a real level of maturity, a level of honesty and transparency in your relationship. But I don't think it's a hard no that if you're friends with your ex, you're automatically going to do something terrible. I don't believe that. And I don't believe in having bad relationships with people just because things didn't work out. That's Too Personal. Make sure that you follow us on social, hit subscribe. And if you want to be a part of the show for Never Too Personal, toopersonalpodcast@gmail.com.